Hey there, so let's talk about section 2. I have changed the route for this, and so I wanted to explain why. And if you see old versions of the map, I wanted to just explain it. So, section 2 starts at Lake Katherine, which is right below Santa Fe Baldy, and it goes all the way up to East Pecos Baldy Lake. Um, the way people usually refer to this is Pecos Baldy Lake. So that's the lake. It is, I believe, about 20 miles long all in. Let's walk through it. So basically, you're at Catherine, you walk down, you pick up Skyline, and you're going over. That would be Stewart Lake. So yeah, there's Stewart Lake, and then there's, I guess, Stewart Pond. Can we call it that? And then you're along Skyline. You can go up to the extremely lovely Lake Johnson if you so choose, but you would continue over to hit Cave Creek. Note that there's water here. There's good water all along this way, so I wouldn't get too worried about water, though you should always be carrying it. You will come down Cave Creek here. There are the caves that a lot of people are really into, so if you have time and you're interested, you can go check out the caves. You come down here. You will not, note, go all the way down to Panchuela Campground. But if you wanted an out or you wanted to resupply or something and had a nice person who would meet you at Panchuela Campground, that would be convenient. So what you're going to do is instead of going down to Panchuela Campground, you're going to continue up. Also, please ignore the arrows. I've just stitched this together from a bunch of tracks that I did, and so that's why the arrows go in weird directions. So this is Doc Willer. Excellent trail, very steep up here. You're going to get a little bit of a workout, but you'll be okay. I have never seen proof of this trail, but maybe it's there. Anyway, you will go up Doc Willer, which is a lovely leafy trail. There's a bunch of good places, fields to camp. I believe maybe around here or somewhere, like in this section, there's actually a little creek that runs across the trail. So there is water along Doc Willer. And then there's a couple of seeps as well. Again, when I get to doing the water map, I will be more specific. I probably marked with waypoints on another map, but I don't want to get into the weeds on that. But there is water along here, even though it doesn't look like it. There are good camping spaces. This is the intersection of Rito Pero, which goes up here. This is a really beautiful field. There is no water, like good water in the field. There's a little seep, like right about there. I should be making this much larger for all of you. So there's a good little seep right there. There is water probably like right there, and it crosses the trail. And so you could absolutely camp at this intersection. It's really beautiful. You'd have lots of space. There's even a big rock to cook on. And then you could walk, like 10 minutes down the trail, fill up all your water, and be fine. Anyway, so here we go along Doc Willer, and we are headed up to Jack's Creek. And this is Jack's Creek as opposed to Jack's Creek Campground. So just to be super precise, Round Mountain is a feature that a lot of search and rescue people refer to, or about a lot of hunters refer to. If you're in the backcountry a lot, you may hear people refer to, it was near Round Mountain or something like that. You won't be too close to it, but you will continue up this excellent, very well traveled, extremely well defined trail all the way to Pecos Baldy Lake, which is just a gorgeous place to be. And then you will continue on to the Trail Riders Wall. But I wanted to tell you about this because I have changed the route for this. In earlier versions, the route went from here, Cave Creek, over to Horse Thief Meadow. And then it went over along here. That's Panchuela Creek. It went, this is all Skyline Trail. And it went over and it hit Rito Pero. This is Rito Pero Trail. And then it went up and you came over the backside of Baldy. There's a lot of things I like about that route. The problem is like basically between here and here, the trail conditions are horrible. It goes through a burn. The burn was several years ago, and so the trees have fallen down. And it's not just like there's a log on the trail, it's that there's a log pile on the trail. And so you will literally be vaulting over multiple piles of logs. And when I say a lot of logs, I mean like several hundred. Um, do not put your phone in your pant pocket unless it's zippable. I mean, like, it's really pretty wild. This is also part of a burn. There is water here. There is no water. I should be zooming this open. There is no water here, even though it says so. There's no water there, which I find really frustrating that the map is wrong. There is water there, and so that's I don't know at what point it dies, the creek dies, but there is good water. This is an epic view from the top of East Pecos Baldy, but if you really want to see it, just head a much safer, more predictable way. Drop your pack off and zip up to this view and maybe go all the way up to East Pecos Baldy. It is an awesome view. But to go back here, this is extremely hard trail. No one is usually out here. I've done this section of trail, I guess like 5, 6 times at this point. I've only seen a person out here once, and the fellow I ran into was super fit, definitely someone who knew what he was doing in the backcountry. And he looked at me, he was like, "Oh, wow, I'm really glad to see someone. This is extremely rough trail." And I was like, "Yeah, I guess it is." So because of just how difficult and honestly kind of dangerous, I have marked this trail really thoroughly with, I believe it was 7 rolls of blue trail tape, just this 1.5 mile section, because it's super easy to get lost, especially if you don't have a GPS device. It's easy to get lost because what's happened is, obviously when people use a trail, they all stay on the trail and they wear the trail down. This is good. But when you have obstacles across the trail and people start going in multiple different directions around these obstacles, the trail path becomes less and less clear. What has happened in this section of trail is that people have been going around, just basically going through a log pile that is this trail. And so finding the trail can be really hard in some points. There are also a fair amount of deer out here because nobody ever goes here. And so the animal tracks are actually, in a lot of instances, more prominent than the human tracks. And so that's why it's easy to get lost. Again, this is actually a lovely little campground. And the other thing you're going to miss is Horse Thief Meadow. And I really do have a fondness for Horse Thief Meadow. It is totally lovely. But I think it's actually better to bring you all the safer, better access way that is outlined. Let me say for Horse Thief Meadow, if you wanted to, go the left and spend the night at Horse Thief Meadow, just because that was like the particular timing of what you were doing. Obviously, it's only like 1.5 miles, so that's not hard. There are also a number of little fields and flat areas along the trail. So if you didn't want to go all the way to Horse Thief Meadow, you could do very well for camping along here. What else is there to tell you? I don't think there is anything really to tell you. You will also go through a burn about here. And I have lots of photos of this that I will hopefully add in time. This is the same burn that got this section. And this may be showing the burn, I think. And so you will see what the burn looks like. Burns are part of the story for the thru hike. Anyway, so that's section 2, and if you see old versions of the map that go this way, you can absolutely do it. I have marked it, so you're not likely to get lost. And when I say I marked it like every 10 feet, because in a lot of instances, I'm guiding you through the best way over the log pile. Another reason to mention this, that I that I decided to run it this way rather than over this. There is a really large tree, like a 5 foot diameter tree, that has fallen over the trail, and it's just after Rito Pero. Um, it is also on the right on the top of a scramble, like it's really steep up. It's a little up, but it is a somewhat steep up. And so the only way to get past that tree is to take your pack off and shimmy underneath it. The way the log is, and given the rules of gravity, if that log even shifted while you were under it, it would be bad. We'll leave it there. So because of that bad log and this condition on Skyline Trail, again, I just think this is the better way. Some wonderful, wonderful person though did go in and clear a lot of this. When I was there this summer, I could have sworn I heard chainsaws in this direction. By the time I got there, they were gone. But some angel cleared that. Can't say enough good things about the people who do trail maintenance. We really owe them a lot. So I will stop talking now. I hope this was helpful.